Hello, everybody. Looks like we've already got some people logged in, which is awesome. I am super excited to talk to you guys about joint ventures. Um, Unbelievably excited, actually. It's one of the topics that I really, really nerd out on when it comes to real estate investing. And I got to say, it's been one of the cornerstones of my personal career in a huge way because I wouldn't have been able to buy the amount of properties I've been able to buy without it. So we're gonna we're gonna talk about some real estate investing. I see some familiar names in the list already. We got Greg's in here and Andrell. Good to see you. We got Kumi and Latif logging in from Vancouver, which is awesome. So it's good to see some familiar faces. Now, hello from Toronto. Awesome. Oh, Paula, good to see. Paola? Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I'm sorry, but good to see you. So one of the things that we like to do at the start of our Zoom meeting to help, I mean, let's call a spade, guys. It's a little bit of a stinker that we can't do our meetings in person, and real life networking is what it's all about. So we like to start the meeting off with just a little bit of networking. I know it's not the same, but it's close. And so if anybody would like to just shoot the breeze with me for a little bit while we wait for our meeting to start, then please do, by all means. Just say so in the chat. Otherwise, maybe I'll just start calling people out by name. In the meantime, I'll just chat away. So like I said, if you want to do a little bit of networking, if you want to chat a little bit, we'll promote you to a panelist and we can just shoot the breeze about real estate. Now, I'm personally feeling pretty excited here, guys. I'll tell you, this is my last official duty for the Mogul Realty Group. That sounds dramatic. For the next 2.5 weeks. I am leaving tomorrow for a vacation that I'm super, super excited about. It's a vacation I've had planned for almost 2 years now. We booked it back in 2018 because it is pretty involved and we needed to make sure that everybody had the time put aside to do it. So I am actually leaving tomorrow. We're going to Vancouver. And then from Vancouver, we are hopping on a sailboat. It's a 6-man sailboat. It's a guy's trip, big 50-footer. And we're going to sail from Vancouver up to Haida Gwaii, which is at the northern part of Vancouver Island and back. So we're going to be zipping in and out of the islands. And I could be more excited. We're going to catch fish and eat fresh seafood and adventure around, and gosh, I don't even know what else. So maybe, has anybody out there ever been sailing before and you can give me some tips? Because I'm the kind of person where I kind of like to dive in with both feet and I don't mind going in blind. So I have no idea what to expect really at all. The skipper, or is the skipper the captain? I don't know. The captain of the boat? Am I the skipper? Am I the new guy? I think I'm the new guy. Anyways, the organizer of the trip, captain and owner of the boat, sent me a gear list. So I'm packed. I've got everything I need. And before you guys ask, yes, I have Gravol packed because will I get seasick? I don't know. I mean, the only boat I've really been on has been the ferry from Vancouver to Victoria. And like speedboats, tubing and stuff on Alberta lakes, but nothing like this. So yeah, I'm going in blind. I'm just embracing it. As Paola said, I kind of don't want to know what I'm getting in for, so that the discovery is part of the adventure. So that to me is part of the thrill of the whole experience, is not knowing what I'm getting myself into and then embracing it and going along for the ride. So I could be more excited. So I hear. So yeah, to add, so Linda said, who do we charter the boat with? Well, actually, it's a good friend of mine, and he owns the boat. So it's a 6-man boat, and it's his annual guys trip, and I scored a spot on the guys trip. So it was kind of funny because in April, end of April, early May, he called me and he said, I know this seems scary, but do not cancel this time in your calendar. We're going on this trip. There's no COVID on the ocean, and it's going to be the experience of a lifetime. And chances are, if we're not allowed to travel outside of Canada, this will be the only trip you're going to get to go on. So we're doing it. You know, come heck or high water, we're going sailing. Get ready. And I'm definitely grateful that he brought that energy to the table because, you know, I mean, when COVID hit, it was everybody, including myself, were like, well, I guess nothing fun's happening. Time to start canceling stuff. And if it hadn't been for that positive encouragement from my friend, the captain, I may have canceled this trip. So I am on a one-way trip. Well, not a one-way. I'll come home. That sounded dramatic, but I'm rolling out. I'm rolling out. Do you want to hop on? So, So, Linda, Gilligan's Island. Where am I staying? I don't know. I mean, the boat's big enough. This is responding to Linda. Linda, if you want to hop on and just chat with me, I mean, I'm kind of having a conversation with myself here, like a talk show radio host. But the whole point of this first part of the meeting is just having an opportunity to network with some of you guys. It'd be great to talk about your joint venture experiences. If you are a joint venture partner, if you have been a joint venture partner, a video is off. That's hilarious. It's a classic Zoom meeting. Please hop into the conversation. Otherwise, I'll just keep chatting away about me going sailing and having absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So, you know, to answer the question, where are we staying? What are we doing? I mean, we're staying on the boat. Where are we going? I don't know. Oh, it looks like Amy Beliveau said hi on the Q&A. Thank you very much. Hello, Amy. Good to see you. And yeah, I mean, I really don't. I couldn't answer the question. I mean, if I get lost at sea, you guys are not going to be able to come find me because I do not have a map, an itinerary, or much of an idea of what we're doing. I just know that I'm along for an adventure, and I'm super, super excited. So it's gonna be great. We're gonna be, you know, heading there and heading back, and to add a little bit extra sizzle to an already super cool experience. One of the guys on the boat, his brother owns a quarter share, kind of shaped like, imagine a pie cut into 4 quarters. He owns 1/4 of an island somewhere up there in those islands, and so their annual August long weekend party is they invite all of their friends. Everybody who owns a section of this island invites all of their friends up to this island. So we're going to make a pit stop on an island party along the way. And now you just want to crash the guys trip. It's going to be a hoot. It's going to be some male bonding for sure. Now, the guys on this trip, I'm actually going to be the young gun on the trip. The owner of the boat is in his mid-50s, and the average age range are going to be, I think the next youngest person is in their late 40s, and one fella is in his 60s. So I'm fully expecting to get razzed for being not only the new guy, but the young guy. So it's going to be kind of a fun experience in that regard. And just great guys. It's going to be a really fun adventure. So I'm hoping, do I know the name of the island we're staying on? I do not know the name of the island. Like I said, guys, if I'm not back on the 17th and I've been lost at sea and I'm shipwrecked, it's going to be me and a volleyball, and I'll be screaming Wilson out into the Strait of Georgia because I just don't know. I don't know if I'm even going to have cell reception, so I'm planning my entire trip around not having cell reception. But you know, I kind of think that that what is going to end up happening is I'll have the odd bit of cell reception here or there. So I'll just check in with home and say, hey, I'm not dead. We're catching fish. We're eating fish. Life is good. So we'll be all right. Now I'm going to switch gears a little. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked for Mogul Mastermind tonight. We've got some crazy good speakers. We're going to talk about really some high-level stuff regarding joint ventures. I won't give it all away until we have everybody here in about 15 minutes. But you know, I'll talk joint ventures a little bit, just a little bit of bonus chat about it. You know, I started joint venturing when I was incredibly young because as most of us do, I just didn't have any money. I was just a kid. I was in my early 20s, and as a result of being in my early 20s, I didn't have a huge amount of available funds, and I was a RAIN member, Real Estate Investment Network. So I see we have someone here from let's see here, Investor Life. That's another group. I think that's affiliated with Keyspire. Real Estate Action Group. The thing is, guys, nowadays there's so many awesome investment clubs, investor related coaches, and so on out there that I mean, there's not a lack in any way whatsoever of really smart, really passionate professionals available to help you learn about how to build your portfolio and how to do joint ventures. So I learned at the Real Estate Investment Network. I learned at RAIN. That was where my journey began. And I mean, I hadn't even heard of a joint venture. I didn't know that you could buy real estate with a business partnership. I didn't know that people could get together and do a business deal. That wasn't part of my upbringing. That wasn't part of my university education. I have an arts degree, so I mean, I didn't learn about this kind of stuff in school. And I learned about joint venturing. I thought, hey, you know what? I think I can do that. And so the way that I got started is I put together my pitch, and I kind of already knew that I wasn't going to have a high degree of success, a high probability of closing, as we say in sales lingo. And so instead of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, as it were, I basically just accepted the fact that I was very unlikely that I was going to close these deals. And I made it about learning how to give my presentation as opposed to having an expectation of closing the deal. And so I just started I was still in my early 20s. So the only grown-ups that I knew were my parents' friends and people that I knew from my place of employment, which was a gym. And, like my dentist and my doctor and stuff like that. I mean, I was still at the university mindset where I wasn't interacting with people that were that much older than me. So the approach that I took is I was very complimentary and very respectful. And I said to people, look, I'm doing this new business idea, and I have no idea if it's actually a good idea. And I just need some feedback, and I want to get the opinion of some people that I trust, so that I can get a second opinion on this, because I think what I'm doing makes sense. However, I'm not 100% sure if it does or not, and therefore I want to get an opinion on it. So please know that I'm not trying to pitch you here. I don't want to create an awkward situation where you're dodging my phone calls after this is all over. I just want you to look at this. I want you to give me your opinion on it. I want you to give me some feedback. If I want you to look at the spreadsheet. I want to give me your thoughts and whatnot. And then, we'll just leave it at that. The next time I chat with you, we'll just shoot the breeze. Older people in my family and stuff like that, I'll see at the next family reunion. And sure enough, I went through my joint venture pitch over and over and over and over with all of these, kind of older people in my life. And, most of them were like, that's cute. Real estate's neat. I heard somebody had bad tenants once, or, oh yeah, I bought property and it didn't work out. But it was actually interesting because the more that I practiced, the better I got. And the better I got, the more compelling my pitch became. And the more compelling my pitch became, the more people seemed actually genuinely interested, as opposed to just kind of letting me say my piece because they were, someone in my life that was just willing to give me their feedback. And sure enough, it took a lot. I mean, I wish I knew the exact number. I rounded up by saying it was at least 50, and I feel like it must have been 50, maybe 60 presentations before somebody said, hey, yeah, I mean, I'm interested in doing a deal like that. If this is actually a possibility, I know you, I trust you. I've known you since you were younger, and you're full of energy and you have a no quit attitude. So, let's do it. If you actually think this will work, I think it'll work. The numbers look sound. Let's do a deal like this. And it just kind of snowballed. So that's my story. I adapted that strategy partially because I was so young that I expected most people to blow me off. But I mean, if you don't have to be young necessarily um, to be in a position where you can use the idea of practicing or talking about or getting feedback for a new business venture. I mean, it's a great way to get going because it takes the edge off. People don't like to be pitched. People don't like to be sold, but people love to help, especially people in your immediate sphere of influence. They care about you. They're interested in your well-being. They want to see you succeed. And if there's one thing people love, they love feeling like they're smart. They like feeling like they're contributing. They like feeling like their opinion is valued. And so if you approach it the right way and come at it with a humble vibe, then then most people are willing to just have a coffee with you and give you their opinion. I mean, if it's almost like a pump their tires kind of thing. You're like, my gosh, you are so experienced and so smart, and I would just love to get your perspective on this if you're going to be humble and kind enough to give it to me. I mean, gosh, who's going to say no to that, really? And that's how I was able to get in front of so many people. And I'm a big believer. And if you guys saw the Facebook Live with Russell Westcott and I from earlier, I think it was last Thursday. One of the things that he kept saying was it's all about reps. Reps, reps, reps. And I'm a big believer in that too. Like, there's no shortcut to getting good at stuff. I mean, there's a shortcut to getting more successful, and that's listening to people who have been there and avoiding the mistakes they made. But in terms of getting good at something, there's no substitute for putting in reps and just practicing over and over and over again. Whether you're learning a skill, a sport, a musical instrument, how to give a good joint venture presentation and pitch, it's all about reps. And the reps that are the best one are the ones that are actually with a real live person. I mean, yeah, you can practice on Zoom or in front of the mirror. Zoom's great because you can record yourself and then watch yourself after and give yourself kind of critical feedback and say, oh, I say a lot. It doesn't feel like I say a lot in the moment. But watching myself, I just calling myself out on it. But if you watch yourself after the fact, some of those interesting little things that you're not even aware that you're doing come out by being able to rewatch it. So that's a really good way to go. A whole lot of great questions have come in. So let's have a look here at what people are asking. So, fellow BA, big shout out to the Bachelor of Arts, Amy. How's it going? And let's see here. Was the first JV somebody I knew? Yeah, it was, but they weren't in my immediate sphere of influence. I'd say they're almost like a secondary sphere of influence. Like, I kind of sort of knew them, but not nearly well enough to say that they were like a close friend or a close family member. It was more like it was in my sphere of influence. It was somebody like when I was working at the gym, it was a member at the gym who I interacted with in a friendly way on a fairly regular basis. But so I knew who they were ahead of time. But I never in a million bazillion years thought that they were actually ever going to consider doing a deal with me. That was a very pleasant surprise. Can you provide other than Rain or Investor Life in the Edmonton area? Absolutely. I mean, Rain. I think Investor Life. They have they do a forum called Fearless Investors Forum, which is very active with people chit chatting. So there's going to be a lot of people on there who are more than happy to participate in the conversation. This group, of course, Mogul Mastermind, and the nice thing about our group is that every single person who we've hired owns at least 3 or 4 investment properties. So any of the realtors on the Mogul Mastermind squad would be more than happy to sit down with your spreadsheet, play with the cells, do a deal analysis with you. That's just something we're happy to do, and a service that we provide to anybody who wants to, attend our meetings and learn from that. There's the Edmonton Real Estate Investors Association, EREIA. I would say they're, if not the longest standing, one of the most longest standing groups in Edmonton. They've been at it for 20, 25 years. and they've got a really great angle. They've got a really great meetup group. There's another group called Collaborate Real Estate. They were originally from Calgary. They've started up meetings in Edmonton here or there. I'm not sure just how frequently they're meeting in Edmonton. I mean, the thing about meetups is that COVID really threw a monkey wrench in people's ability to meet up. So we're still keeping our Zoom meeting active. I'm not sure if Area or Collab is doing their meetings via Zoom right now. If anybody happens to know if they're Zooming, maybe just drop it in the comments section. Yeah, they are. Cool. Thanks, Sean. So, I mean, hey, you know what? There's an awesome opportunity there to participate. The cool thing about the Edmonton real estate community is that there's a very strong network of very passionate and dedicated investors, and they love networking. That's one thing that I've noticed. So, you know, when you try the different groups, you're going to notice that there are certain people that attend more of them or most of them, or, you know, multiple groups at once. And there's some people that they pick the evening that's most convenient for their schedule, or they pick the meeting where just kind of the culture and the vibe of the meeting based on who the hosts are click well with them. So for anybody that's starting their real estate journey, you know, I would just say that I would highly recommend checking out several groups. The more the better. The more people you can interact with, the more you learn. The thing about real estate investing is it really is a place where you learn from the experience of others. And a huge part of that learning is hearing the stories of people who have walked that path. You know, real estate investing isn't a university class. It's not a NATE certificate. Part of it is because the real estate industry evolves so quickly that by the time they put together a class, a whole bunch of the industry standards and rules would have changed. So for those of you who are, you know, into it, check them all out. You know, there's just so many great minds in real estate in Western Canada, so many great groups. And, you know, we're definitely one of them. And I think we do a really great job, and we're really passionate about bringing the community together in the way that we do it. But check everybody else out too. You know, I mean, there's just so much good real estate information, knowledge, leadership community out there. And, you know, just like any good community, I find the investors really stick together. So, you know, your network is your net worth, as they say, and real estate investing is a really great network. So, that's my 2 cents on that question. So, Jason, I hope that helped answer your question. It seems like other people are reaching out to you. So, you know, the proof is in the pudding. People are connecting. People are networking. And, you know, that's just awesome. You know, that's what we're here to do. Now, for those of you who want a little bit of a teaser, in September, we are going to go for it. And what I mean by go for it is that we're going to try to relaunch having an in-person meeting. Now, for those of you who are not comfortable in-person meeting, we're still going to be live broadcasting via Zoom. We know that it might not be comfortable or a great idea for people to come out, but we also know that, you know, there are people that just want to get networking in person. We're obviously going to be very heavily focused on masks indoors, which is a rule anyways. We're going to be, you know, there's going to be hand sanitizer left, right, and center, so you're not going to be able to take 2 steps without sanitizing your hands. We're going to make sure that we're elbow bumping only, no high fives, no handshakes, anything like that. And the venue that we've booked actually has an open air component to it. It's the Creative Hive, which is what we were using before. So we'll be able to roll up that garage door and have better airflow, just so that the air doesn't stagnate, so that it's another healthy way to go. So stay tuned for that. We're really thrilled. We have to cap it at 50, obviously, for social distancing reasons. But, you know, I think it seems like we're getting into a new normal where people are comfortable at restaurants, they're comfortable at gyms, they're comfortable at the park. So we're gonna give it a go and try to have a properly socially distance compliant but in-person networking meeting where people can just feel each other's vibe, meet up in person, and get a proper networking experience in. I know a lot of us are missing that, so it'll be good to be able to put that together. So keep an eye out for that. I'll mention it again at the end of the meeting, but the only thing that's going to get in our way is COVID getting worse and not better. And that's really a crapshoot, people. I mean, we don't know if it's going to get worse. So, I might be eating my words come September 1st if things get worse and we're locking down again. So it's tentative, of course. But if you are thinking that, you're really looking forward to interacting with your fellow investors, re-engaging with the community, having an opportunity to connect, converse, chat, share ideas, we're doing it. And our September meeting is going to be live. So we are absolutely thrilled about that. And yeah, really honestly couldn't be more excited. So we're the clock is about to tick 7. And so our meeting is officially going to start. And I'm super into it. I can't wait to get into Mogul Mastermind. Everyone should print a photo of themselves and pin the front of their shirt so we can see who's actually at the meeting. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that. Okay, so let's start talking about why we're here. And what we're here for is this is Mogul Mastermind. A lot of you have been here before, and a lot of you may not have been here before. So let's just kind of start by talking about what you have gotten yourself into tonight. What you have gotten yourself into is Mogul Mastermind. What Mogul Mastermind is and we're a meetup group, and we're a meetup group hosted by a collection of really, really passionate real estate investors. The whole point of what we do is to bring the community together. So as I was talking about in our lead up here, the real estate investment community is only as strong as the amount that people participate. We're really interested in the networking aspect. We're interested in the sharing aspect. We're not trying to, monetize this or charge for coaching or charge for admission or anything like that. That's not the point. The point is just being good shepherds and hosts of the community. The Mogul Realty Group is a group of realtors, so we love obviously doing investment real estate. And if you like what you hear from us here and you choose to work with us, that's great. But we know a lot of the people that come to Mogul Mastermind do their own thing too. But I can assure you, we're some of the best realtors in the city. We've been the number one team with RE/MAX for 2 years in a row. And since we switched brokerages to EXP, we're now the number one team in EXP. So we do a lot of deals, sell a lot of houses, provide really great service. And we love working with you guys, the investors. And, I can even see in the list of attendees, there's a lot of folks that we have done business with. So thank you for choosing us. And we look forward to doing more business with you in the future. Mogul Mastermind, again, we're here to nerd out on real estate. We're here to learn about all of the different fundamental pieces of the real estate game. So there's a lot to it. We're entrepreneurs, we're business people. And whether you're flipping, buying and holding, whether you need to learn about landlording, evicting people, attracting tenants, bookkeeping, accounting, joint venturing like tonight, analyzing deals, assessing markets, getting a market update. That's what we're here to do. We pick topics that make sense for real estate investing, and then we dive into them. The fact of the matter is real estate investing has been a way that intergenerational wealth has been formed since, the ancient times. Like, who's the king? The king has the castle and all the land around the castle. Who's the pharaoh? The pharaoh, has the pyramids and all the land in Egypt. Who's the boss of the Wild West? The rancher who owns the ranch and all the cattle on the ranch. And who's on top in modern times? It's who owns the land, who owns the property. So that's knowing that we want to create an opportunity for people who want to build that intergenerational wealth for themselves to learn about how to do it. And it's knowledge that's as old as time, really. So we're just passing on what we've learned about real estate investing onto the next group of people that want to learn with it. We feel that this information is there for everybody, and we want to facilitate sharing that information. So we're gonna get into it now. Before we start talking about joint venturing, I want to talk a little bit about what's been happening in the Edmonton market and what we've been observing as realtors on the ground. You know what they say, boots on the ground. Our boots are on the ground. We're doing real estate. We're doing it. So one of the things we noticed in June was an unbelievable spike in sales volume. We listed close to 20 properties in about a 15-day period, and easily 15, 16 of them sold, and about half of them in multiple offers. We are still right now combating for multiple offer situations in all kinds of properties all over the city, especially in those A+ neighborhoods. We just did a multiple offer situation on a property in Bonnie Doon. So what we're seeing is a market where the good properties are going, people are active, people are interested. But I think the real question is that's on people's minds is what's going to happen when, like the Canadian government is really buttressing the economy or propping it up, keeping it stable by injecting cash in at a grassroots level, by helping small businesses thrive and survive, by helping unemployed people thrive and survive. I mean, we can make fun of Trudeau all we want. We can put out a bunch of memes about how goofy he is. But the fact of the matter is all of the funding that's been re-injected into the economy is keeping a lot of small businesses alive. It's keeping people employed. It's keeping things going. The ability to defer mortgages is keeping people and landlords able to get through what's kind of a tough time. But it does beg the question of what happens when those programs expire and what's going to happen to the Canadian economy, because we're taking on an unbelievable amount of debt to get through this unprecedented and difficult time. So, it's going to be interesting to see how many people who are relying on support get a little bit too used to having that support, and then when it ends are in trouble, versus how many people use it as their support to get through, and then when the economy stabilizes, they come out the other end relatively unscathed. I'll be completely straightforward in saying that, especially in March, April, and May, when everybody froze in a wait and see mood, we've got permanent staff at the Mogul Realty Group. They're great staff. We wanted to keep them working, and we wanted to keep them safe. We wanted to keep them happy. We wanted to ensure that they were putting food on the table for their families, and we wanted to keep a productive work environment. So the CEWS is something that we took advantage of with the Mogul Realty Group, and it was great. I mean, it kept us in business. It kept us strong and thriving, and it was like it slingshotted us around the corner when the market came back in June. We were well situated to service clients and help people out. I can tell you firsthand, if we had, if that support hadn't been there and we had to make some tough decisions and lay people off temporarily, well, we wouldn't have had the administrative support to be able to service everybody when things got back going. So what's going to happen when that support runs out? Well, Mogul's going to be okay. This isn't a story about us particularly. We had a really good quarter and our reserve fund is strong. But, what's going to happen to that little restaurant that's right on the edge? What's going to happen to that marketing agency? What's going to happen to that widget company or whatever? There are going to be some casualties, and I think we are going to see opportunities come about as a result of some people needing to sell. I think there's going to be very interesting opportunities in the commercial world in terms of office space, retail space, because the work from home movement is going to make office space a little bit less appealing and a little bit less necessary. And businesses are going to be downsizing their offices, subletting their offices. So that's going to be an interesting spin-off for sure. One of the things that we might want to do as landlords is start thinking about acquiring properties now. Or, I'm seeing in the crowd here a lot of people that do the BRRRR method, which means, you buy a property and then renovate it, refinance it, hold on to it. For those of you who are doing that, I mean, maybe think about in your next set of renovation plans how to make a really comfortable home office setup for not only one, but maybe two adults that are working from home. So you add in just small additions and amenities that make a work from home environment much more realistic, much more comfortable, and much more feasible. So, I mean, it's to be announced. We don't really have a crystal ball in terms of how the economy is going to get hit. And the success of the government support programs is really to be seen based on when, things really start mellowing out. And then, of course, there's the wild card of what's going on in the States. I mean, the global economic superpower is basically imploding in on itself right now, and everybody's getting shaken up by that. So I know it's not really a prediction per se, so much as it is a call to be very aware of what's happening in the market, make and look at where the trends are so that you can make in your little microcosm, make investment decisions that are going to align well with the new reality of what we're dealing with. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to transition into our topic, which is joint venturing.